Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to Empowerment Liberation Cathedral's Word Wednesday service. We want to give you a few moments just to sign on, give you a few moments to hit like, give you a few moments to create a watch party. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here at Empowerment Liberation Cathedral. Thank you so much once again for joining us on tonight. Tonight is our Word Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have each and every one of you. If you would hit like, if you would hit share, if you would hit create watch party, then everyone connected to you will be able to get this wonderful lesson we're going to bring to you on tonight. Again, we're going to give people just a few moments to get on to join us at Empowerment Liberation Cathedral. We are happy to bring to you our Word Wednesday service. We are back. Yes, we are back. And we know that this is Black History Month, so we are looking forward to bringing you some wonderful information on tonight. So if you will, take a moment to hit share. You'll take a moment to hit like. And if you would create a watch party, then I believe that you'll be able to bless some other people who are connected to you. Tonight, I want to start by first telling you who's going to talk with me on tonight. We have Deacon Sylvester Stokes. We have Deacon J. Ronnie Bullock. And we have Deacon Kim Hall. And they're going to talk with me on tonight. And so we are so glad to have each and every one of you on tonight. So we're going to start with, we know this is Black History Month. And it looks like the folks at ELC are excited about Black History Month. Y'all see these backgrounds? They are excited about Black History Month. And so this is the best month of the year, if we can say it that way, because we get to celebrate our own. And we know they shortchanged us by giving us the shortest month, but it's all good. We're gonna make it worthwhile. All right, so tonight we want to share with you just a few things about some African Americans that you may not, I guess, know a lot about, if we can say it that way. And so we're going to share and talk to you tonight about a few of these people who've made major contributions in our society. So tonight, the first person we have is Dr. Shirley Jackson. Dr. Shirley Jackson. We're going to talk to you about inventors this week. Okay, so we're just going to bring you a few inventors. We're going to talk to you about a few inventors this week. Dr. Shirley Jackson is an American physicist who received her PhD from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. A lot of you know that as MIT in 1973. She was the first African American woman to earn a doctorate in nuclear physics at MIT. I tell you, that is major. Nuclear physics is major, y'all. All right. And so her experiments with theoretical physics paved the way for numerous developments in telecommunications, including the touch tone telephone. Any of y'all ever used a touch tone telephone? I know some of y'all just remember seeing it at your grandma's house. I know. Her contributions also were in the portable fax. And anybody remember caller ID? Y'all remember that? Y'all was always checking the number to see who was calling because you wasn't going to answer if it was somebody you didn't want to talk to. So she also paved the way for caller ID, caller waiting. Y'all remember call waiting, where you were so happy when somebody else would call in and you could say, hold on for just a minute. So she paved the way for that, and the fiber optic cable, which they're still using today. All right. And so what do we think about Dr. Shirley Jackson's contributions? Deacons, anybody want to say anything about Dr. Shirley Jackson, this wonderful African American woman?
Well, Bishop, first I want to thank Dr. Shirley Jackson for inventing the touchstone phone, because I remember, I'm dating myself, but I remember rotary. And I know if I had friends and their number began with the 9 and had some zeros in there, you would dial and dial and dial for days. So I'm appreciative of that. I also remember caller ID, and I guess we kind of have it still on our iPhones, kind of sort of the caller ID on our iPhones when the phones ring, caller ID. And just hearing all the things that you said about her is just amazing how smart, intelligent she is. She has to know her math and trigonometry and algebra and all those things that I didn't do well in school with. She has to be excellent. And it reminded me of Nassau, the scientists, the women in Nassau who had the brain
Yes,
of mathematical brains to be able to figure out things like that. So I'm proud that she invented all of these, and I'm proud that she's an African American woman.
absolutely, absolutely. Anybody else?
I am forever thankful, and even still now, for caller ID. Especially back in the days when we first got the touch tone phone. It made it so much easier to call in the radio contest, because before you had to take the dial and force it back and so yeah, I mean, these are great inventions, because it did make my childhood a little bit easier, once they did come along.
Yeah, and I wanted to say
Great.
that the inventions are absolutely great in the sense that if you look at the technology that we have today, they're just piggybacked off of her inventions. You talk about the fiber
Yes.
optics. I mean, that even goes into the cable. They have the underground cabling that you can
Mm-hmm.
get signals. You don't have to worry about losing signal. Whereas before you had your great big old dish and the wind blew, and guess what? No more cable. And so, absolutely, I would say that those inventions were absolutely necessary. And I'm very proud that she's a Black woman.
Amen. Amen. So we're going to move to the next person. Let's see who we have next. I believe we have Lewis Latimer. All right. So Lewis Latimer was an inventor and engineer born in Chelsea, Massachusetts, September 4th, 1848. He collaborated with science greats Hiram Maxim and Thomas Edison. One of Latimer's greatest inventions was the carbon filament. Some of y'all who are brains took a loose that light bulb. The carbon filament is a vital component of the light bulb. His inventions didn't stop there. Working with Alexander Graham Bell, Latimer helped draft the patent for Bell's design of the telephone. So now all of this stuff belongs to us, the way it sounds, but I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. This genius also designed an improved railroad car bathroom. Oh my gosh, some of y'all have been in that bathroom. And so we're so glad that he was able to help improve the bathroom while you're riding on the train. And also an improvement on, or he did an early air conditioning unit. And so that is Latimer, Lewis Latimer. So now, anybody excited, first of all, about that air conditioning unit? Somebody ought to be thankful about the air conditioning unit. So anybody have any thoughts about Lewis Latimer? Great inventor.
Yes, the air conditioning is definitely a significant invention. Um, I, 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 I grew up in a house without air conditioning. So now that I'm an adult, there will never be a lack of air conditioning in my house ever. I am very thankful for air conditioning.
So I agree with you, Deacon Kim. For us in our elderly or older ages, we sometimes get these things called hot flashes, So, you know, a lot of our brothers may not understand, but thank God for this Mr. Latimer for helping invent the air conditioner. I do remember the carbon filament. I didn't know what it
Yes.
was called until present day. I like to take things apart. So of course, I took apart, unscrewed that little silver thing on the light bulb and opened it up, try to figure out how they were attached inside. And of course, I ended up put the little fibers all stuck in my fingers
Oh
because
Lord.
because I had no clue that's what they were going to do. But, you know, my mother took about an hour to try to pick each one out with tweezers. So I had no clue what they were called, but yeah, that was part of my childhood growing up. So I guess I thank him for the light bulb as well.
I'm sure.
And I generally just thank them for
All
the
right. So
contribution to the inventions. And it's amazing that we grew up knowing a different version of who created or helped to create. And so it would be really nice to start this collaboration. So Bell and Latimer, you know, whomever
yes.
and Latimer. And so that's where we need to get to right now. And so that's why it's important during Black History Month that we actually bring this forth, because those things we're not necessarily taught. In school, you don't necessarily see them also in the papers and the
Right. And when you think about it, who gets to choose the names that we hear all the time? Who does that? You know, because there are certain names that seem like someone allows to be put out. And then there's certain names that are kind of tossed to the side. And unless you go and research, you don't hear these names. And so, you know, who decides that? And so we have to, as you said, begin to put out our information of our great minds and our great inventors so that our people will know the people who have done the work, laid the foundation, and collaborated with others, and are the reason why we have so many things on today. And so I think it's important for us to share this information. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next person. I tell you, these are some great inventions. Okay, so we have Marie Van Britton Brown. All right, so now, anybody know about what's called a home security system? So she was a full-time nurse, and she recognized security threats to her home and devised a system that would alert her of strangers at her door uh, and contact relevant authorities as quickly as possible. Her original invention consisted of peepholes, a camera, monitors, and a two-way microphone. The finishing touch was an alarm button that, when pressed, would immediately contact the police. Now, this Marie's invention here that I'm telling y'all about, okay? So now her patent laid the groundwork for the modern closed circuit television system that is widely used for surveillance, home security systems, push button alarm triggers, crime prevention, and even the traffic monitoring that is going on today. We got some bad sisters. That's all I can say. All right, so let's talk about Marie Britton Brown. Anybody want to talk about her invention?
Well, I'll just note the one thing I'm noticing about her is that she passed in 1999. So it hasn't been that long since she departed this life. But all of these inventions that we are using every day, you should have heard of her. And if she was still here in 1999. So, I mean, this is just like, blowing my mind a little bit, because it's not like she passed, like I said, 18 something, 1999. We should know about this.
Deacon Kim, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But I'm just amazed. I had no idea that, you know, a Black person, a Black woman, and in fact, just was behind that invention that created such, as Deacon Kim said, those tools that are essential to us in terms of living now, at least we think they are. And so, wow, you're right.
When you think about at the White House, Don't they use cameras? Aren't they watching surveillance? Don't they have surveillance there? When you think about the military, don't they have all these cameras, surveillance that they do monitoring? I mean, to me, everybody's using Marie Britton Brown's stuff today. So, Deacon Ronnie, what you want to add?
It's just amazing the way our ancestors, and I'm going to say she is my ancestor, they're all our ancestors, how their brains work and how they were used to come up with all of these fantastic, these phenomenal inventions, and they weren't given the credit for it, or they'll give you a little teeny bit of credit, but they reap all the benefits from all these inventions. So, and just like both deacons were saying, 1999, that is so current. Why haven't we heard of her? Why isn't something somewhere other than you have to go and deep down into Google search to say, hey, give us some phenomenal African-American people that invented stuff. And then
Yes.
there you go. Something has to change. And I agree with Deacon Sylvester on the last one by saying this has to come out. We have to somehow, somebody has to figure this out.
Yes. And I'll say, I really do enjoy the security systems that are in homes today. When I pastored my church in Detroit, sometimes I would be in the church by myself. Of course, that was maybe over 8-9 years ago. But thank God for Brinks. There was a Brinks system. I would come in the door, I would alarm the whole building and just have the space, where my office was. I would make sure I could walk in that area. But I enjoyed Marie Britton Brown's work because that system was put there to make sure that the building was secure. And how many churches are enjoying her work on today, her invention? How many homes are enjoying her invention today? I know we got iRing and all of that, but they wouldn't have come up with that if it wasn't for Marie Britton Brown.
That's right.
So, once again, we have some great minds and we've done some great inventions. So we're not through yet. We're not through yet, y'all. Hold on.
I think this
Go ahead.
conversation shed some light that we need a new cycle of Black history. Like it seemed like Black history was stale. Like every February is the same thing, and we need to start digging a little deeper. And because 1999, like we need to bring up that's history now. That was like 21 years ago, so we need to start a fresh cycle of Black history.
That's good.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. At least we're doing that here at ELC. We're gonna bring it to you. We're bringing it to you.
Bishop, can I just add one more little thing about Marie Britton Brown? So really quickly, I have one of those home video systems. Then when you walk up to the door, it takes your picture, or there's a camera and so on. So long story short, someone hit my car overnight in the middle of the night. Well, of course, they didn't come and ring my doorbell and tell me they hit my car, but my video camera was able to pick their car up, get their license plate, get a picture of the person and everything else so that I can submit it to the insurance company, and they had to end up paying for the damage of my car that was parked on the street. So thank you, Ms. Brown.
Come on now. Thank you. I love that. And the great thing is now they also have the small cameras that you can put inside your house that you can just buy the system. Well, once again, I believe that comes from the work that Ms. Brown did. And so we want to give her credit and give her just due. And we don't want it to be a hidden figure situation where all these years later, then somebody discover and then give her some credit. Okay, no, we want to bring this information out now. So the next person, we got somebody else who's up. The next person, y'all gonna be real surprised about this one. Lonnie Johnson. All right, so Lonnie Johnson created something that y'all always bring to my birthday party in the summer, okay? He is the creator of the famous Super Soaker water gun. All right. I don't know if I should say thank you to Lonnie Johnson or not, because I've left with my hair wet from the birthday parties. But Lonnie wasn't the toy maker. He was actually an aerospace engineer from NASA with a resume boasting of a stint with the US Air Force. He worked on the Galileo Jupiter probe and Mars Observer project, and he has more than 40 patents. What a great mind. And so we thank Lonnie, who's an aerospace engineer, for all of the things that he's done, even created the thermoelectric energy converter, which converts heat directly into electricity. So anybody have any thoughts about Lonnie Johnson?
My question is, Bishop, how did this aerospace engineer decide he wanted to create a water gun? Like, what was his thought process to say, you know what, I may be in engineering and work for NASA and compute this and whatever they do in NASA, but I think I'm gonna make me a water gun. You know, like,
Look,
where did that come
that's a real
from?
question.
I wish we could
maybe
interview him.
maybe he had kids or something and said they
And they
need
get
something
on
to
the
do at the
nerves.
pool. Yeah. So I don't know, but that's a great question.
I actually knew about him inventing that super soaker. Okay, that's the one that we only hear about. I didn't know about the other thermoelectric something. See,
Converter.
yeah, like
And
that.
40 patents.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's not glamorous, the super soaker, you know. So that's good. That's good. I mean, I think he probably was playing with his kids and say, I need more water.
Or just being a big kid.
Being a
Right.
good kid.
You know, just being a big
Absolutely.
kid, you know, smart, you know, using that brain for work and then some, let me do something fun on the side. And here you go, you created this super soaker gun that was amazing for everybody and it brought so much joy, not only to the children, but to adults, as we witnessed.
Yes.
Oh, as we have witnessed, yes.
I mean, the
Yes.
super soakers, they have backpacks. You can put the backpacks of the water, put them on
Yes.
the back, and then I had a couple of them, so.
We could tell.
But you know, it's amazing to convert heat to electricity. You have to have a great mind to be able to do that. I worked at Air Products and Chemicals when I was a junior engineer. I was still at Howard University in the mechanical engineering department, and I did my intern at Air Products and Chemicals in Pennsylvania, and that's Allentown, Pennsylvania. And to be able to convert some of these things is not an easy process. And so they one of the things that always amazed me was how they took air and they converted that, and then they converted so many things with these different machines that they had at Air Products and Chemicals, made paper towels and all these different things, and made the CO the oxygen to send to the hospitals. And so you have to have a great mechanical mind to understand the dynamics of what is included in the heat, the molecules and all of that that's there, and then how to break those down to make them form some type of electricity. This is not an easy invention. So we know that he's a great mind. So I want to steal that from him. You know, yes, it's fine to know he was the creator of the super soaker. But you know, he was a great mind to be able to do that thermal converter. Okay, so we got some more folks. Okay, I just want y'all to get excited. We have some other great inventors. Now, most of y'all are gonna like this one. Lisa. Now, I don't really know how she pronounced her last name, so we're gonna call it Lisa G. Okay, so Lisa G in was the creator of the animated GIF on the web. Okay, so if you've ever seen any of those animated GIFs, or maybe you've used some of those animated GIFs Lisa G is the one who created that, a Black woman, okay? Uh, Lisa G was intricately involved with the advent of shockwave, a technology that formed the beginning of web animation. Some of you who are into computer science and all of that stuff will understand that language. She also played a major role in the emergency of online video, later serving on the senior management team at Hulu. All right. So to think that an African American was on the forefront of so much that we enjoy today. I mean, it is amazing to know, the animated gifs, we all like those. And so she was at the forefront of that. And she previously was the interim head of digital for BET Network, ran technology, product, and business operations. She served at the White House in the United States Digital Service Department. So Lisa G is a bad sister. That's all I can say, because if she was at the helm of online video, and we all post videos, don't we? We all do that. So thank you to Lisa G for being there at the beginning and the onset of what we take for granted on today. All right, so y'all talk to me about Lisa G.
She don't know where she started.
That's right.
I mean, I think the gift is great because it's like when you're like texting, you can relate your emotions better than words, So, yeah, okay. BET.
I know y'all got something to say about the
But
woman with the videos and the animated gifts. Go ahead.
well, regarding the videos, Bishop, I'm sure you are excited as to mention your TikTok videos that you come up with quite frequently. But I mean, but I don't know if it has anything to do with what we're on now, the videos and for the Zoom. I'm not sure how that correlates with anything, but it's amazing how we've come from dial-up internet where there was no such thing as a video, where you be on AOL, and yes, I still have an AOL account, but you're on AOL, and then you can hear saying, we're dialing, and you hear that strange noise, yes, the little man running, doing the running man and all that. But how we've come, present day, but brilliant mind, brilliant mind.
Yes, yes, totally, totally. Anybody else? Because I'm just excited to know about our ancestors, as we said, and I just think that our people need to get more credit. That's all I know. And we talk about credit, I mean monetary credit also, because their families, if they're not still living, their families should get the benefit of what they created, and how people have continued over the years and decades to benefit off of what they have done.
Yeah, I was going to say that they're not even all ancestors yet. So it's good that we're now looking at people who are still with us as Black history, because, I mean, they are. So that's great. And I don't think we would be doing that if it weren't for the internet. So, because we would have to wait for it to come out in the book. And
Oh, right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Encyclopedias, or in sometimes
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Got to
yeah,
wait till the man come around with yours,
with that's
trying to sell them.
We weren't in the encyclopedias
library
like
with
that,
pocket full of dimes.
we weren't in the encyclopedias like that though. So even when they came out, a lot of what we had created wasn't in the
yeah,
encyclopedia.
that's true.
Or it was the second person of fair skin that did something on top of our creation. They were in the encyclopedia.
Yeah,
But we weren't in the encyclopedia. So I think videos probably helped us to see those things, because we did do videos, Black people, we did record a lot on video. And so the
Hmm.
ability to record our history is probably how it got passed down, word of mouth and video, but not in
Hmm.
their publications. So I think that she helped with us being able to know our history.
Yes, yes, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. All right, so we got I think two more people. I am excited because these are some great minds. And we're benefiting from so many things that they have done. All right, so we have Elijah McCoy. So now Elijah McCoy is often regarded as one of the most famous Black inventors. McCoy was credited for 50 inventions over the span of his career. Folks was inventing just a whole lot of stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. So now, in an effort to improve efficiency and eliminate the frequent stopping necessary for lubrication of trains, McCoy devised a method of automating the task. 1872, Elijah McCoy developed a lubricating cup that could automatically drip oil when and where needed, vital in avoiding sticking to the track. The lubricating cup met with enormous success, and orders for it came in from railroad companies all over the country. It was so popular that when other inventors attempted to steal his idea, that's when you know that you on the money then. When they attempted to steal his idea and sell their own versions of the device, companies were not fooled. They insisted on the authentic device called the real McCoy. The real McCoy. All right. Thank you to Elijah McCoy for helping us to not have to stop that train on the track all the time, but being able to lubricate it as you go along. So anybody want to talk about Elijah McCoy, the real McCoy?
Expansion, all of the ability to expand across the United States, he made it happen.
Yes.
If you had to continually stop, it would take you years to get, to really be able to expand, because you had to take a population with you. You can't take a population on one train. So by him doing this, more trains, and so it's more expansion. That's awesome. That is awesome. Awesome.
Absolutely.
And Bishop, I watch a lot of documentaries on cowboy movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watch a lot of documentaries, period. But in the cowboy movies, when they were building the trains from the South meeting the North, and they had to meet in the middle and so on. And I'm sure he was a part of that. However, in all of the documentaries, all you see are the African Americans is hitting the
track,
the tracks, the nails, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes, the nails.
That's all you see on every last documentary that I've watched. That's all they're doing. They're singing in key, and on tune.
We always
harmonizing,
singing, aren't we?
and always harmonizing. But his name was never, ever, ever, ever mentioned in not one of those documentaries. But it's just amazing that we all know. I'm sure some of the ones we didn't know about, but I know we've all heard the real McCoy. And how he's come up with why they call it the real McCoy, because people were trying to imitate his product. But it's just amazing how he didn't really get the credit. And I wonder if they knew the real McCoy was an African-American man.
Was a Black man.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Because he didn't have a name that
Mm-hmm.
we're familiar with to know.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is, I mean, your stuff is good when folks try to copy it, and other folks tell you, we don't want that. We want the real McCoy. Mm-hmm. We want the real deal.
And
all right. So
did he get the money? Did he get paid for that? Did he get what was due to him?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, we're his ancestors. We're his children.
That's what I'm saying.
Shouldn't they still have money like the Rockefellers?
They should.
Like the JP Morgans?
Yes.
Why don't we hear about the rich kids of the McCoys?
Right. What happened? So many of our people, our ancestors, descendants, should have the money, because people all over the country were using this. So where is the financial benefit of what he created? And why was it not given to, if it wasn't given to him, why wasn't it given to his children? If he didn't have no children, give it to his cousin, his mama, his sister, his brother, somebody, but why wasn't it in his family? And so, yes, we don't hear anything about the McCoys, who were the people, the ancestors, or the relatives of, this great inventor.
Right. And Bishop, I also think that maybe part of the reason that we don't know, and maybe part of the reason that we are assuming that he didn't get paid, is because, you know, at that particular time, Blacks were not necessarily counted as citizens. And so maybe it was viewed as work. You know, you're out working, just like whether you were hitting the nail to put the tracks together, or you were writing something down to keep track of time, whatever the case was, that was work. And you didn't necessarily get paid for it. If you did, it was very minimal pay.
Well, see, now you're gonna get me started
I'm sorry,
because so many
but
people
it's true.
who
It
it
is.
is true. So many people who have been on these jobs and have created major, major things were under a clause that says, you know, this is the oh Lord, I lost it. This is the patent, or this is the property. That's what I'm saying. The
Right.
intellectual property of this particular company. So the company they were working for had these great minds creating all of these things, and they just getting what? I don't know how many dollars an hour they were getting, but they might have given them a little bonus. I don't know if they did or didn't, but the company, whoever had the company, made millions of dollars from this Black person's invention. And so, you know, do you stay with the company because you need a job, or do you leave and go out and try to do it yourself when you don't have the resources, when these people did have the resources? And so that to me was the trick bag they had our people in so many instances, you know, but what could they do?
It's true. That's true. I mean, even
Okay.
today, you have people of color who still don't know that you can actually write a contract in regards to your intellectual property, even if you're employed by the company. So if you're employed by the company and you figure out a new way to do something, you can write a contract. Like I developed something for my hospital, and I am published as being the developer of this platform that they use. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I did it with a few people and we're actually published, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
as far as the not, now see, that's the thing. I didn't know that I could license the intellectual property. I'm published as one of the creators, but I am not
Yes.
licensed for the intellectual property. So no,
Okay.
honey, there's no money with it because
Right.
I'm just acknowledged as one of the developers, but no. So
Yeah.
even in this day and age, I was young when I did it, but even in this day and age, we don't know that we can do that. We just
Yeah.
know.
And maybe that's something we need to talk about, because I used to be a patent examiner at the US Patent and Trademark Office many
Mm,
years ago. And I used to examine people who were applying for patents. Of course, we all had certain areas which we looked at, but there were lots of people who were applying for patents on certain things. And what always caught my attention when I was there, because as a patent examiner, we had to go and look through all the patents, even from 1800, 1700. You had to look and make sure they weren't exactly as what those people did back then. A
mm,
lot of times these people did a little something, but it couldn't be something that is a natural little something progression. It had to be something that, you know, somebody else wouldn't think about, or, you know, something like that. But did a little something, say for instance, addition to the phone, and got a patent on it. You know what I'm saying? And so I really wish our people knew a little bit more about that area, because we have great minds. We've created, invented so many things, and we should really have the patents on those things. A lot of our people do. You heard some of them have 40 patents, 50 patents, but now they make it so difficult for you. You have to have a patent attorney, and you have to go through this long process. It's very costly. And so that is why a lot of times our people get discouraged, because if you try to do it yourself, you don't know how to complete all the paperwork and all of that. And so it really is a challenge to do it yourself. But we want to encourage our people to continue to seek out patents and try to, you know, patent your intellectual property.
mm. We need business
Okay,
tanks, think tanks.
we do.
We
Yes,
know that
yes,
help us with
because
these things.
look, then people really gonna have an insurrection.
And
They're
there's
gonna
that.
be mad. They're gonna be mad again. Okay, so let me move on to the next person. Okay. So our next person after Elijah McCoy, I tell you, we have some great, great inventors. Did I miss this gentleman? I think I did miss that particular person. Okay, so we have Mary and Mildred Davidson. They were sisters. Okay, so they created practical inventions. Practical inventions are always good. They didn't have a technical education, but they were both exceptional at spotting ways to make people's lives better. And that's what's always important, that you see the need and you try to resolve the need. Okay, so together, Mary and Mildred invented the sanitary belt. All right, so then later, Mary by herself invented the moisture resistant pocket for the belt. And then Mary also, while disabled from multiple sclerosis, Mary went on to invent the walker. Hey, do people use that today? She created the walker and the tissue holder. So now, how many people have used the walker or have we seen using the walker? All right, so let's talk about Mary and Mildred. I tell you, some of the things, now we're going to start looking around at all the stuff that we see and be like, I wonder if the Black person created this. All right, so let's talk about Mary and Mildred.
They're awesome.
Well, Bishop, I remember the first thing that Mary and Mildred created. I won't go into a lot of details with that, but I'm glad whoever created adhesive came.
Oh, come on now.
I want to remain a respectful deacon, so I'm going to leave it at that. But it's amazing how when you watch Shark Tank, how they go with so many inventors that, like you were saying, that there's a need for something. Like there was a need for them to create the tissue holder, because if you walk up, in your house, you got tissue may fly, the wind comes and it may fly all the way over the place or this, that, and the other. So, and the walker, of course, like you said, I mean, I used a cane before, but I didn't actually had to use a walker, but my mom did. And I'm so grateful that they invented that walker, because, there's no telling how she would be able to get around or anything. But because I wonder if she invented that because she had multiple sclerosis.
Her MS.
Her MS.
I'm sure.
So,
that's probably
and
it.
like, we need to start thinking outside of the box.
Yes.
We need to start thinking about, man, when I get a nosebleed or something, what can I do to help me with my nosebleed, or anything. We need to start thinking outside of the box, like our ancestors did, and current day too.
Yes.
That's amazing. She had an ailment, so she was like, I need to get around. So let me create this walker.
Right. And what she put together, she said, well, other people might need to use this too. Yep. And usually that's how people are inspired to then try to patent what they have found to be helpful to themselves. Because a tissue holder, anybody want to be sitting on the toilet holding the tissue the whole time? Or would you like for the tissue to just be there, and then when you need it, just pull it? So, something as simple as that, because I can imagine, if she has MS, she's not going to want to sit there holding that. And so, some of these things are things that people create that help them, and then they know it can help others who are in the same situation.
I think as people, period, we always, as people of color, we always create something. I mean, like adding the foil on the end of the antenna to make sure it works. Figured out that if you're in a bad reception area, you turn the phone upside down and come back. Like we've always been resourceful.
Yes.
Because we had to be. And so because we had to be resourceful, that's why that turkey necks actually taste good. That's why the chitlins taste good. That's why that if you wash your dishes with a little bit of bleach in the dish detergent, you can get spaghetti out of Tupperware, because I can't afford to keep buying Tupperware. So we are so creative as beings. We're always going to figure out a different way of doing something, rather than, because we didn't have the privilege of other people doing it for us.
Yes.
So we created things. But we do normally just told sister so-and-so how to do it. Like we didn't do the business side of it.
Right.
We told somebody else how to do it.
Exactly.
It would, you know, if you really think about everything we've created, from the components to a vehicle, to the stoplight, to the this, to the, like, everything that makes the world move efficiently or effectively was created
Yes.
by a person of color. Every single
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely.
The fact
And-
that the heart transplant, we did that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you really
Yeah.
want to talk about it, like the one
Yeah.
thing that makes sure that you're living, we did that. The plans for the original mechanical heart, we did
Yeah.
that. Like, we're the
Yeah.
big when it comes to creating things, but we don't think about it as a monetary gain, and that's what we need to change our thought process.
That's where we got to change.
It is a value to
Absolutely.
our knowledge.
And I just really want to know, did somebody black create bleach? Because we love bleach. And so I just need to know, did somebody?
We need to look it up, but we know what we can put bleach. Now, we as Black people know we can put bleach in dark clothes too, to get the stale smell out if they've been sitting in the washer too long. It's like, you know, because why? Because we're not going to buy a whole new wardrobe. Like,
Absolutely. We are bleach people.
Come on now. Sometimes the economic disenfranchisement allows us to be the most brilliant minds in this world. Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's just where we are. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have two more people. Let me get to these, and we have taken our whole night tonight to talk about these, but I thought, you know, it was truly well worth it. So we're going to talk about two more people, and most of you are familiar with this one, but I could not get on here and talk about inventions and not talk about him. Okay, Dr. Charles Drew. So every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Thanks to Charles Drew, the blood is available. Dr. Drew was a physician, surgeon, and medical researcher who worked with a team at Red Cross on groundbreaking discoveries around blood transfusions. World War II, he played a major role in developing the first large-scale blood bank and blood plasma programs. He also invented the blood mobiles. All right, for y'all who work at the hospitals. These are the refrigerated trucks that to this day safely transport stored blood to the location where it is needed most. Drew was one of the most prominent doctors working in his field, one of the only African Americans during a time when blood donations were still separated along lines of race. That's what I really need y'all to hear tonight. Drew eventually resigned from his position with the American Red Cross, excuse me for saying it with their racist self, over the insistence of adhering to this policy that you got to separate the blood by race. It was 1950 before the Red Cross finally recognized all blood as being equal. 1950, folks was dying because y'all couldn't recognize that all blood was the same.
That's crazy.
All right, so let's talk about the famous doctor, Dr. Charles Drew. Anybody ever been to the hospital?
Then there's that. Yeah. Yep.
Bishop, I'm shaking my head because just the thought, the audacity of someone thinking that because your outer part is darker, that your inner part will be different, that you can't use the same blood. And so I was actually fortunate enough to know his grandson. We attended church together. And so that rings home and you know, a sense of pride as well. But look how many people from his invention, his dealings with blood in the blood bank, how many lives have been saved?
Yes.
How many surgeries were completed successfully because you were able to get blood and sustain during the surgery process and even the recovery process.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely amazing how gifted, talented, and intelligent our people are. And as Minister L said, to start to think out of the box. And so these inventions, most of what we're seeing now that we're displaying now, those are people that thought outside the box, you know, not the norm. You know, well, yeah, this is normal, but it's amazing how much we can create. But now, as you said, now is the time to kind of get the credit, get the monetary value on it, and
Yeah.
get recognized for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it's important that we're in certain spaces
Yeah.
and we have the opportunity to work and get experience and learn certain things. But it's also important that we can protect our own ideas and inventions. And
Mhm.
so I appreciate those who did get patents and those who did protect their own intellectual property. And so we as a people today need to make sure that we share that with others so that those who are great minds, who come up with many wonderful things, don't just give away their intellectual property to somebody else and let them make all the money from it. And you still sitting back with a $10 an hour job, $15 an hour, 25, $50 an hour, whatever it may be, while they're making millions off of what was in your spirit and you worked hard to resolve. So we want to send that message out to people today.
And the same,
Anybody else on Dr. Charles Drew? Okay, go ahead,
I
Missy.
was about to say, in the same minds that created the artifacts that you still can't replicate right now, we're descendants of them. You know what I mean? So we
Yes,
still have the ability to make
absolutely.
amazing, amazing things. And
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone that you've talked about, Lisa Galopter, Elijah McCoy,
Mm-hmm.
Charles Drew, all of them, they are descendants of the brilliant minds that were able to build pyramids, that were able to bury complete cities intact. So when you dig up that hole, the whole city's still intact.
Yes, still down there.
All of it's still intact. When you
Mm-hmm.
open up, the bodies haven't collapsed and they're mummified and didn't even use the tools that we use now. So we are their descendants. So that
Yes.
intelligence sits with us, it's still with us. And it's unfortunate that we can't we have it in the past. I'm not gonna say we can't. I gotta speak into existence. We will get the credit, but we
Yes.
have it in the past. And it's unfortunate that our children aren't taught our history either. And we have to do a better job at that.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe that that intelligence, that high level of intelligence is flowing in the DNA. And so if DNA is passed down from ancient time in Africa, then we still have that same DNA that is being passed through our veins on today. So if they can trace our DNA all the way back to some woman who was in Africa
Mhm.
back in the beginning of
Yes.
time, and surely if they were the people who built the pyramids, then that same DNA has passed down to us, and
Oh,
we still have the same great minds on today. So
absolutely.
we need to just use what we've been given and allow it to bless us and bless those that we leave here, leave a legacy and lineage too. Okay, so we got one more. We have 7:52. I got one more. Anybody want to say anything else on him? Okay, all right. So we got one more person, and I'm sure y'all are familiar. I had to say, get these two people in here. All right, so we have Garrett Morgan. All right, so those who survived either of the world wars, thanks to a gas mask, have Garrett Morgan to thank. Morgan first created the safety hood to help firefighters navigate smoky buildings. Anybody know about the safety hoods? All right, and so now he later modified it to carry its own air supply so that those who had the hood on could sustain their breath and not have to take the hood off, but you could keep the hood on and have air supply, making it the world's first effective gas mask. He also had the good sense to add a third position to the traffic signal. There was a time when the signals, I don't think y'all was around. Y'all might have been, I don't know, but I don't think y'all was around. The traffic signal simply said stop or go.
No.
And so he was the one, I'm just teasing. He was the one who added the third signal. And now we have red, yellow, and green. All right. And in addition, that further reduced automobile accidents because of his invention. So he's credited the most known for gas masks and traffic signals. I tell you, we have some great, great minds, great ancestors. All right. So now, anybody drive a car? Anybody been in traffic before?
Bishop, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Do you think if the insurrectionists that went to the Capitol,
Some of them had on gas masks.
they
Yes.
had on gas masks,
Come on now. I know where you're going.
if they would have known that this Black man, Mr. Morgan, created the gas mask, would they have worn it?
Absolutely not.
Period.
Hmm.
That's why we have to get our
Absolutely
business
not.
out there. That's why we have to know about who invented what, because maybe they would not have, well, they probably would have anyway, but maybe they would have worn something else. But
I was going to say,
guys
well,
know.
they probably would have, because some of them are married to Black women.
Wow.
Then there's that.
Yes.
And then there's
And
Yeah.
so I don't quite understand it. But you
I
have
didn't
one
understand
extreme
it either.
side of prejudice, but yet your household, you're married and you have children.
Hmm.
So what do your children think about you? Like,
What do they think
hate me,
about
Daddy?
themselves?
Like,
If
do
you
you
say
hate me, Daddy?
Right. Oh, that's sad.
That's a whole nother Wednesday night
Woo!
discussion.
It is. It
That just
really
blew
is.
my mind right there. What in the
Really is.
world?
Yeah, there were
What was it,
about
the
3 of
Proud
them that
Boys
I
leader?
saw an ad that showed the white male, the Black female, and their kids,
Yeah.
and a family portrait, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right. And the Proud Boy is Hispanic or
Hispanic.
something?
He's Hispanic.
The leader of the Proud Boy is Hispanic.
Yes, he's Hispanic.
So that was my question. But yes, I drive
All right.
cars.
So
That was
So
good,
we
Ronnie.
would-
That was
That
we've encountered the traffic lights.
Yeah.
That leads to the other question. If they knew that the inventor of the traffic light was Black, would they stop? Now it's been so long. Is it when they stop, do they go, man, I don't want to stop here, but I'm
Oh, right.
That's good. That's good.
That's true.
It depends if the video camera is showing or not.
All right, now we can
Right.
keep
Come
going.
on, DJ. Come on, DJ.
Look at us inventing.
That's terrible.
We just calling the roll. We just calling the roll.
That's
Calling it.
right. That's
Wow,
good.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So maybe we should make a list
Oh,
of all
Bishop,
the things the Black people invented.
that's right. And then what about
Send
if
it out.
the rotary phone? It would have taken us forever to dial somebody to call the police. So thank God that she invented the touch tone.
Yes, and wonder if they'll send any more animated gifs,
That's-
or if they'll send any more videos. Knowing that a Black person created that.
Or a color computer screen, because a Black person created the first color computer screen. So maybe they're gonna go back to black and white.
Oh Lord,
We go on and on and on and on.
we can, we
You know,
can,
now
we
that
can.
would be good, Bishop. If we sat there and did the video of the insurrection and started listing everything that was
Listing.
created by a Black
Listed
person.
all of it. Listed all of it. All of it. That would be
That would
wonderful.
be
But
wonderful.
Black people built the Capitol too. So,
Well,
they
that
got
makes
mad
sense.
when they
They
heard
tore
that.
down. They wanted to tear that up, so that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
That's true.
So
But
for
they
Black
did.
History, for
They got
Black
mine.
History. So for Black History Month, everyone, we have had a great showing of persons who have contributed to the way we live and the things that we utilize in our everyday lives on today. We have some great, great ancestors. We have some just great minds. And as you've heard from our leadership, we really do need to begin to let our children and even adults, I would say, know of all of these creations and inventions that our people have created, so that we can stand proud and we can stand tall and hold our heads up, knowing all that our ancestors have done in this country to make it a better place. And so we thank you for joining us on tonight for our special Word Wednesday. This is Black History Word Wednesday. And as I said, we were talking about inventors tonight. We'll bring some more people to you on next week. But I tell you, we are doing some phenomenal things still. We have some people that we're going to bring to you who are not in the past, but they're in the present. And they're still creating some great things and doing some great things. So tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. during Black History Month. We're going to bring these people to you and make sure we highlight them for you. The leadership team is going to talk about them. And, we just want you to know where you come from and the capacity that you have to do the same thing that they have done. So once again, thank you for joining us here at Empowerment Liberation Cathedral. Remember to join us on Sunday at 11 a.m. Sharp. We're going to start on time. Bishop ain't going to wait on y'all because this Sunday is the Lord's Supper or this is communion. So we're going to start on time. And make sure y'all have y'all communion ready. Okay, I'm telling y'all on Wednesday. So y'all got plenty of days to get y'all crackers and juice together. All right, potato chips. I know some members told me they was using potato chips. Potato chips is fine. Whatever y'all choose to use, that's fine. Even if y'all get a piece of bread. And whatever you need to use, don't get none of the baby's cookies, okay? Some of y'all have gotten the baby's cookies and use that, but just be prepared on Sunday, okay? So we will have communion on this Sunday. We want you to be ready. And remember, 11 o'clock sharp, okay? So we will see you all then. God bless you. God keep you. Don't forget to give to ELC, support ELC. You can give at $ ELC Church. You can give on Givelify at Empowerment Liberation Cathedral. And you can give on Tidely. Don't ask me the number because I don't have it in front of me. But use Cash App and Givelify for tonight. All right. And thank you so much. May God bless all of your offering, your giving on tonight. And may God continue to smile upon each and every one of you. Please remember to stay safe and remember to pray and praise in this season of purpose and